Welcome to a special episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host JC, and today we're going to take the mystery out of filling up your scuba tanks or your carbon fiber tanks. I've had a lot of inquiries. People want to know, hey, how do you fill your carbon fiber tanks? What do you use? More so, what do you use? The process is pretty simple. But before we get into that, do me a favor if you hadn't already. Hit that subscribe button down in the corner. It doesn't cost you anything. It's absolutely free, but it really helps support the channel. Anyway, let's get back to our subject on hand. Yeah, the reason I decided to come out with this is I just had a little bit too much information for a short, but I'm still going to make this kind of a brief video for the most part. But I've had a lot of inquiries. People want to know, how do you fill these tanks up? Or simply the, oh, these are heavy. Oh, God. The 3,000 PSI scuba tanks, either these or the 4,500 PSI carbon fiber tanks. Well, there's lots of pumps that you can get out there, lots of them. And if you know this Ace Care right here, the pump looks really familiar because there's several companies that put their label on them. But it's one thing to put your label on it, and it's also another thing to be an established company and be able to back the product. So I do have a little story for you. But first of all, this is the pump that I use to fill these tanks. You can actually, this 6.8 liter carbon fiber tank that Ace Care puts out, this one's a DOT certified one. You can fill this from 0 to the full 3,000 bar, so 4,500 PSI, in 40 minutes with this one. Now, what is this exactly? Okay, this is a 4,500 PSI pump. It's got an auto shut off on it, but it's water cooled. It's water cooled. So you'd think to yourself, wow, you know, that's probably going to be pretty expensive. Nope, under 300 bucks. So what you would need for this, as I said, it's water cooled. So you would need a 5-gallon bucket. Okay, you definitely need a 5-gallon bucket, and it comes with it comes with everything. The only thing that you're going to need to add to this, honestly, to use this pump is that 5-gallon bucket, and then you're going to have to get some AW46 hydraulic oil, because that's the oil that goes in the machine here. And it comes with all the instructions how you set that up. But then it's actually water cooled. It comes with a little water pump. You drop that in. Yeah, it takes a minute to set it up, but the difference is the small little pumps, you know, the compact pumps we've featured before, you're not going to be able to top these tanks off. That you'll wear the pump out and destroy it. This, I've been using this for years, and honestly, you can buy rebuild kits on eBay or what have you for them as well, and you can rebuild them really cheap if you need to. I have not had to do that so far. Because if you think about it, once you get the tank established, in other words, you get it up to that 4,500 PSI or 300 bar, well, then you're going to run that thing down to 200 bar or 3,000 PSI, and then you're just going to top it off. So you're only topping it off a short amount, just like even the regular scuba tanks that are 3,000 pounds. Once those get down to about 2,800 PSI, I pump them back up, and it only takes a few minutes. But this is what I use for this. So this works really, really well. And like I said, they're very affordable. And speaking of tanks, I got to tell you something, because remember I was talking about there's different labels on these various PCP pumps, but what matters is the company that puts the label on there, if they stand behind their product. You remember I featured this carbon fiber tank a while back. This is a 6.8 liter carbon fiber tank. This one is DOT certified, okay, Department of Transportation certified. So anyway, I had my tank for several months, and I go out to get it one day because I'm going to use it, top off a gun. And I go and I attach it to the gun and the whole bit. It had less than 3,000 PSI in it. And I go, that's impossible. So a closer look at the tank, and this is what was happening. Check this out right here. This is what was happening. Yes, it developed several leaks. So the actual tank was given out. So under close examination, it did have multiple leaks on it. So I'm like, whoa, this does have a happy ending. So I reached out to Ace Care and said, hey, got this off of Amazon, having problems with it. I'm telling you, it was a 5-day period that the old tank was returned and a new one was sent to replace it. And I haven't had any issues yet. So Ace Care really, really does have some good customer service. And I'm not going to fault it for one. Everybody, I don't care who you are, what manufacturer you are, what retailer you are, you're always going to have a bad product. The key is, How do you handle the customer service? And you guys know that with the different airgun companies. Some are better than others. Well, these guys were great. They sent me a new tank, and we're all squared away as far as that goes. Okay, so that's how you fill your PCP. Now, if you're a little curious about how you would fill these tanks with this pump, you're going to need a double-sided Foster fitting. This little double-sided Foster fitting. Obviously, one would go into this side, like this, and the other goes into the tank side here. See how you would connect that? And that's how you would top these things off. Same thing, you'd open up your bleeder valve. Very important, make sure you change the filter every time because you want to keep the moisture out of these. Moisture is not good for either your gun or your tank. So you want to make sure you change these filter out. These are really cheap. You can buy tons of these things on Amazon or what have you just for pennies. You really can. And anyway, so that's the process. This is what I use. And again, remember, you're not, maybe one time you're feeling the tank, and if you're close to a scuba shop, the best thing is go to the scuba shop and have them fill the tank up for the first time. And then all you got to do is top it off. But I'm not advising you to fill your own tanks. I'm just showing you what I do. You fill your own tanks at your own risk. That is up to you. And be very safe in the process. Be very safe in the process. But I'm not advising you to do that. I'm just telling you what I do. I top off the tanks with this pump right here. It works great. So I do have to say, AceCare has some very affordable products with some outstanding customer service. I got to give them a plug for that. I said this carbon fiber tank now with the valve, you're going to get this right around 500 bucks. It's a 6.8 liter tank, and with the valve, the whole thing for under 500 bucks. And I told you the pump under $300. So it's a testament to a company, you know, when they put out an affordable product, but then they have outstanding customer service to go with it. And they definitely do. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this kind of brief episode of Airgun Detectives, but I wanted to get you guys updated and answer some of those questions for you. So don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the airgun. Until next time, take care and God bless.